Do you worry about China taking its own nuclear option of selling U.S. treasuries?
Go ahead.
Like the fact that no one is questioning his mental acuity or fitness to serve.
All right, so Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank, he has been going on nearly every single news network to let everyone know China is not our friend. They are destroying the entrepreneurs of the United States. But then I thought it would be funny. Let us compare to how Jasmine Crockett sees the situation. Please stick with me through this video. It's rather interesting to get the full scope of arguments. Now, before we start the video, please like the video. It's the #1 way you can help this channel, and it helps others see the videos as well, and others can have a good laugh.
Do you worry about China taking its own nuclear option of selling U.S. treasuries?
Go ahead. Listen, at the end of the day, the upper hand is the size of the economics. It's basically that. If people are unemployed by the hundreds of thousands in China, Xi's job is gone. We all know that. The upper hand is the larger economy. So, you know, I don't want to talk about war here with bombs. Yeah. This is an economic war. And right now, I know who has the upper hand. I'm sorry. Money talks and BS walks. And that's what's going to happen here. We can have the rhetoric, but I just say screw around with this 25% stuff. 400% tariffs, shut down the markets. He gets on a plane, Geneva, Switzerland, let's talk. I'm just tired of the rolling theft. I'm just tired of it.
Alright, so look, I have been following Mr. Wonderful for a while now, and he has been consistent across the board. The issue is, and nobody else is talking about it, once you are a successful entrepreneur within the United States, for some reason, every single time you hit $5 million in evaluation, China says, you know what, we'll take that, and we will prop it up in our economy, inject it with Chinese money, and look at us, we are now the new creators of this brand new thing, and then American stockholders and investors invest in that company. That is a really big problem, but here is how Jasmine Crockett sees the situation, and please don't click away from the video. I know some of you guys, once you hear her voice, you click away. I think we have to see the full scope of the arguments here. Come on.
But this crazy tariff war that nobody asked for, where he basically is invoking emergency powers, the same thing that he did under the Alien Enemies Act, like the fact that no one is questioning his mental acuity or fitness to serve is beyond wild to me, right? Like the fact that they sat around, called Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe Biden, and as I said before, at least you could sleep at night because you didn't have to worry about your 401k disappearing overnight. You didn't have to worry about these allegations of fake invasions. You didn't have to worry about the cost.
All right, I have to stop here. Otherwise, we're going to get caught in the whirlwind and tornado of allegations and accusations. First things first, when it comes to nobody asked for this, if you voted for Donald Trump, you definitely asked for this as far as tariffs. And the proof is in the pudding. What we are seeing right now in China, because everyone is focusing on the United States, and don't take my word for it, go look it up, China right now had to halt the sale of stocks, and they've had to inject their own money into their own stock market to make it appear as if everything is okay. But they're not using the word Chinese government money. They are using the words investment funds or investment firms. That is the Chinese government. So let us continue, Ms. Crockett.
Of food just skyrocketing, or skyrocketing cost of all of your electronics. You know, the fact that Apple was flying in planes of iPhones before the tariffs hit, like this is crazy work for no reason. So, you know, I just hope that people remember, because seemingly they got amnesia the first time. And so you've got opportunities to vote. And I will tell you that every single special election we've had,
Okay, hold on. I have to stop here. I may have overlooked this. Did Jasmine Crockett just insult every single Republican, like the 80+ people who voted for Donald Trump? Hold on. Did I just miss this?
remember, because seemingly they got amnesia the first time. And so you've got opportunities to vote. And I will tell you that every single special election we've had, Democrats are swinging no less than 15 points. But honestly, we should be swinging 30 and 40 points because of the level of incompetence and harm that this administration is bringing upon all of us.
So there you go, a lot of generic talking points. Look, I would always be down to agree with whoever. If you have a great talking point and facts and evidence to back it up, I'm 100% on your side. I have no issue with that. We have to be fair here. But again, I will let you guys decide how you feel about Jasmine Crockett's economic breakdown as far as the tariffs. Were there facts involved? Was it all emotion? I'll let you guys decide down in the comments.
Ask what happens if we ever have a military conflict with China? And they say, you know what? We're going to put an embargo on anything shipping to the United States. We're going to stop everything. What happens then?
Don't you think
I think
in
we're looking at that because
we would want to have
Now, this is the real topic. Nobody seems to be talking about a war with China. I found some very, very shocking statistics that we are all paying for China's military, quite literally. I will show you guys that here in a second. But first, here's how you can win $30,000 and a Tesla thanks to our awesome sponsor, and it's because of you guys. All right, 1775 and Rumble teamed up to launch the first anti-aging coffee, and it's almost gone. They dropped 1,000 longevity bundles, and after blowing through most of them, they extended the sale and added a few more. But this is the final push. Once they're gone, they're not coming back. For $99, you're getting over $250 in value. 2 bags of longevity coffee infused with CAAKG to support cellular health and reduce biological age. And yes, they'll be selling biological age tests soon to prove it. Plus an extra rare pea berry roast that makes up less than 5% of global crops, and exclusive 1775 merch. This is real, bold, high-quality coffee, single origin, small farm, small batch. Not some throwaway promo roast. It's made for people who still give a damn. If you believe in America, in freedom, and in not selling for weak corporate nonsense, this is your coffee. And every dollar you spend gets you 1 entry to win a Cybertruck and $30,000 cash. That's 99 entries locked in. And with less than a month left, this bundle guarantees you a real shot. So head to 1775coffee.com/T-SPLY, T-S-P-L-Y, all capital letters. Fuel up, live long, and start your morning with coffee that stands for something. I love this company. Go check them out and go win a Cybertruck. That would be awesome.
What Trump has decided to do, and he decided this well before he was elected, is to shake up the world economy and charge an admission to sell your stuff in America, by far the most lucrative market in the world. That's a 10% tariff. Everybody's going to pay it. You want to get into Disneyland? Here it is. You got to pay 10. That's an admission fee. But the admission fee for China is going to be 1,000 times higher than everybody else in the world. China is going to pay until it stops the economic aggression. And the other reason is that $300 billion goes from the United States to China in dollars, Cuomo, not the yuan. Nobody wants that currency because the Chinese manipulate it. It's worth this on Tuesday, that on Thursday. Nobody wants it. Nobody's putting a yuan in their Swiss bank account. They're using the $300 billion trade surplus a year to fund their military machine, their war machine. That is ultra dangerous. Trump believes it. He's going to crush them economically, or at least bleed them until they come to the table and make better deals.
All right, so Bill O'Reilly made a really good point, but I wish they showed you guys how real this is, how the United States is quite literally paying for China's military. Now, when you look it up, how much is China making? The report is about 360-ish, maybe a little bit more, billion dollars as far as these trade deals and tariffs, everything that goes into China making money off of the United States. Get ready for this one. Pull it up right here. The budget for 2025 is $245 billion. We have a near perfect correlation for how much money China makes passively through the United States. That is the U.S. economy quite literally paying for China. Now, I know some of you might be saying, well, doesn't our military get paid for technically by other countries? Yes, that is true. But again, when you look at the near perfect correlation for what Bill O'Reilly is saying, and you go look it up yourself, we are almost perfectly paying for China's military right now. Absolutely insane when you look into this information. So again, it is rather important to keep in mind a war with China could be not a good thing. A war with anybody is not a good thing, but a war with China is very, very important to note that they have power over the United States, not with military, but through the economy. Something to keep in mind, but there is some good news. Now, I mentioned there was some good news. The country of Australia really made a great decision. So if you are unaware, when it comes to geopolitics and military tacticians, Australia seems to be the main target for China. This is not even speculation. This is the assumption, considering very recently you even had Chinese warships doing what they did over in Taiwan, circle Australia or make some movements near Australia, testing the waters, if you will. This was back in February. But the good news is this. China tried to make this deal with Australia, undercutting the United States and saying, you know what? Let's join hands. And Australia said, absolutely not. So the reason why I'm pointing this out is because this is good news that at least you do have allies who do stand with the United States. Once again, this breaks the narrative, especially in the military narrative and economic narrative and the friendship narrative, that countries are still willing to stand with the U.S. And I'm willing to bet China was definitely going to give Australia one of the best deals they've ever seen in their life, yet Australia still said no. Now, there might be a reason for this, considering Australia does heavily rely on us as far as security in the Pacific, and especially because we are about to be giving them a submarine presence in the Pacific, which is a massive deal. Again, many people have no idea this recently happened, where Australia and China, they square off, okay? This is not anything new. So again, really big deal that China was willing to extend their hand and say, you know what, let's have economic peace. Australia still said no. But again, no one is talking about a potential conflict with China. I know that the likeliness right now in our lifetime might not be that high as far as the economy's falling apart, thus there will be a war. China is known to play the long game. There are plenty of experts who go into this, but again, we have a direct correlation that China messing with Australia, then saying, let's be friends, but Australia still said no. This is a very good sign for the United States as far as the potential for a conflict. But again, going to the main topic of the video, China does have the upper hand on the United States as far as this near perfect correlation of how much money they are making from the U.S. This is not a good thing, and I do wish others, not only me, but others in the Republican Party, conservatives, and newscasters, you need to be talking about this, because I think if a lot of Americans saw this, Democrats would have no choice but to actually say, you know what, maybe these tariffs do need to be at 400%, like Kevin O'Leary is saying. Now, the last thing I want to say is this, and make sure you're paying attention, this is critical. Look, without a doubt, the U.S. stock market, it's not doing great. We can't be faking it over here and saying everything is going amazing, this is awesome. Again, we have a 90-day pause on the tariffs. It's highly, highly, highly likely we're going to get some good deals, but we're still waiting to see what China is doing because they're still not, making a deal with the United States. But look at this. China has to fake their stock market right now. It is not going good for China. So when Democrats and other people are saying, look, it's going really bad for the United States, it's going way worse for China right now when you have to start injecting your own money into your own stock market and also restrict the daily stock sales because people are afraid, or China's afraid that they're going to sell all their stocks and then crash their own market. So again, it is working right now. China, I don't want to say is falling apart, but they are suffering as far as the stock market collapsing over there. So if you think it's bad over here, go take a look. When you start to, fake your stock market, not a good thing. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you go check out the sponsor. Go win some cash. Go win that Cybertruck. They are an awesome company. Love them over there. Thank you guys so much. God bless, and we'll see you all later.